Alright, welcome to the first video that I am making for this series. This one is going to be explaining how to use the sword in this game. So the sword is probably one of the most versatile weapons that I have found in New World. So I'm just going to give a couple tips and tricks that I have found out while alpha testing while also playing in this beta. So first things up, you have the two attacks. So you have your light attack, which is just not holding it all and just spamming left click. And so that is going to show that slightly staggers the enemy while also dealing the minimum amount of damage. Your next attack is just your heavy attack. So this one is if you hold down left click, depending on how long you hold it down, will be how much damage you do. So there's definitely a couple of tricks that we can take from this. So one of the things with the heavy is if you hold on the release right away, it goes faster, so you can start doing quicker jabs. It does less damage, but this is good for staggering enemies and getting behind them to deal some backstab damage. So one of the things that that I really like to do with it is I'll hit someone in the front and then I'll roll around behind them and I'll hit them in the back. Usually the stagger is long enough to get both hits off. As far as the abilities go, the three main ones that I use is I use two gap closers. So I've got Leaping Strike, I've got Shield Rush, I've got Shield Bash. So these three abilities I'll show you right now. I've got Shield Bash, which applies a 2-second stun. At the highest upgrade version, it becomes a 4-second stun, so this is really good for setting up your combos in PvP, stopping enemy or pulling enemy mobs out of their grit. Grit is pretty much when they shine white and they're almost completely unstoppable from their attack. Some things the Shield Bash still doesn't work effectively on. A lot of mobs like the bears and whatnot don't actually get stunned from what I've seen. I'm not sure if this is a bug right now or something that's intended. Next we have our Shield Rush. So Shield Rush at level 1 is just exactly as it sounds. You rush forward with your shield and you deal a bit of damage and knock your enemy down. At the second upgrade, you also do an intimidating yell that slows everyone within 5 meters for 30 seconds, or by 30% for 3 seconds. So that's pretty strong for setting up some more combos, which we'll get into here shortly. And the last one is just a cooldown reduction. Leaping Strike, this is a thrusting leap that quickly advances to your target, dealing a high amount of damage. I typically just go for the second upgrade that increases the distance by 2 meters. You can go all the way to this, but I'll explain the tree that I chose here in just a little bit after I finish explaining the combat mechanics. So one of the really cool things that not a lot of people know is you can actually extend these abilities. So I'm going to show you right now. If I go and I line up with the corner of this, so I've got my foot almost right on the corner there, and I just tap the Leaping Strike. We get about here. So this is just about in line with the center of that stone there, okay? So if I come back here, and I'm gonna have to wait for this cooldown. So the way that you can extend this ability is actually by charging up a heavy attack. So if you charge up a heavy attack and right before it goes off, you press your ability, you actually fly further. So by holding this down and right there, I press my jump attack. As you can see, that is where we were before. So the little lag afterwards, I don't know if that is supposed to be intended. However, as you can see, we went almost 3 times the distance of the first one with that heavy leaping. You can do the same thing with shield charge. So this makes your gap closing absolutely insane. This can give you a huge edge on attacking people at range because then you can jump on them without them expecting you to close that much of a gap. So with this next one, we've got Shield Rush. So Shield Rush goes a little bit less than the basic Leaping Strike. So it goes about half the distance, about the center of this stone here on our right. As we wait for the cooldown, we'll be able to see how far we can take it with the extended heavy. And so as we take the heavy attack, and this will take some practice to get down, but it's a very important thing to do. We'll take the heavy attack back and then we'll charge forward. As you can see, we went from the center of that stone all the way to the center of this stone here. So that's past the original leaping strike line there, which is absolutely insane. So those are two of the best gap closing tricks and tips that I can give for using the sword and board. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and showcase some PvP against a player. So the combo, as far as he's just going to act as a training dummy for now. And we'll go ahead and get started. So your initial combo start is going to be a heavy into a stun. You're going to roll around behind him, backstab into a charging strike. If that doesn't kill them, then you can get another backstab after your charging strike. And then if they get out of your combo, you can leaping strike to get them back in. Alright, so again, the beginning to the combo is just a full heavy into a stun. You're going to roll around behind them, hit them once, they're going to go on the ground, you can hit them again, charge, hit them again. And after that, you can leaping strike to put them back on the ground. And then hit them one more time. So now I'm gonna have him try to fight me here. So this is gonna showcase him trying to roll out of it and whatnot. So we're gonna hit him with that. Most people put up their guard, and we're just gonna hit him with the same combo. And there it is. Alright, so as far as the skill level up priority, the very first skill that you're going to get is going to be Shield Bash. After this, you're going to go into Shield Rush. Then you're going to get Keen Blade, Counter Attack, Leaping Strike, Reaching Strike, Ultra Keen, Precision, Fine Precision, Concussive Bash, Intimidating Rush, Refreshing Rush, Recuperation, Bladed Fortitude, Fortitude, Reinforced Armor, Barricade Shield, Leadership, and lastly you can pick up Killer Advantage. This is going to be the best way to maximize your damage output and your skills as you're progressing through the levels. When you hit level 20, you're going to be doing a lot of damage while also being very tanky. When it comes to your attribute points, I suggest starting and putting the max 60 points into strength, which is what you can do from your attribute points themselves. So up until level about 56, you should be dumping all of your points into strength so that you can hit that cap of 60 attribute points to your strength. After that, you want to use gems until you hit 80 strength. Between gems, amulets, rings, and earrings, after you've hit 80 strength, you don't want to go anywhere more above that because it starts being a very big diminishing return. From there, you want to take your constitution and you want to pump the rest of the gem slots into constitution. That is going to be giving you the biggest edge in combat. You're gonna have a lot of damage as well as a lot of tankiness. Your health is gonna be somewhere near 10,000. If you're like me, I like to wear that light armor so I can get those roll arounds. There are ways around it with heavy and medium armor. However, I find light to be the easiest. Maybe in a future video we'll cover some combos you can do with the medium and heavy armor. But for now, they're pretty much the same, except the mobility is just a little bit less. Other than that, I hope you guys found this guide helpful. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment on some constructive feedback or any questions you have. I do my best to read all the comments. I will see you guys in a future video, and peace out.